Okay, I don't know how well this is going to work. If it is anything other than 1:45 British summertime, whatever that would be wherever you are, quarter to the hour, then you're watching the record. This. 2 thumbs up, thank you, whoever that was. I don't know how the audio is working or anything. I'm trying to. It's an old phone headset, but it works better than the mic on the laptop, I think. Anyone care to speak? Say hi. Tell me how my audio is working. Well, 15 of you now. Wow, okay. Hello, Retro Hamer. Would that be Hamer the Gamer? I remember that being an old screen name a while ago. Hi, D Hustling 100. By the way, my internet is shit. Well, sorry about that. I'm not at home. The internet here is a whole lot better than where I usually am. So it the bone, yeah. I knew what you meant. Thank you, Stuart. Good to know the audio's working. Okay, so shopping. Yeah, don't use up all watched. I watched a lot of it back, and it was dropping out left, right, and center. That was really bad. Oh, hi, Jesus. Yeah, the coked up chicken. Greetings and welcome. How are things? Things are interesting. I'm furloughed. I'm currently not working because cleaning a pub. They've all shut down. So I was being paid, but now I'm not because the pub chain stopped paying the cleaning company. Hello, Mark. Greetings and welcome. Yeah, the pub chain stopped paying the cleaning company, so they stopped paying. Hello, Malk. Nice to see you. They stopped paying the cleaning company stopped paying the staff. So until the government furlough scheme thing starts coming in, working basically, I'm just like living on savings. But I'm at Joe's because, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I'm at Joe's because where I was at, where I normally live, it's like there are 14 people there, and very few of them were respecting social distancing and being safe, basically. You played Gunbird 2 for the first time recently, and then I streamed it the next day. It's weird how that works sometimes. Yeah, that a funny thing. Quite often, I will just start playing a game, and I'll see with the intention of making a video of it, and then bam, same day, someone else makes a video of it, and it's just kind of fluky like that. It is a big house, 14 people in one house. It is two houses knocked into one, and they're, I don't know, turn of the century kind of houses. They made houses big back then, so when you've got two knocked into one, there's little in the way of communal space. You've got a dedicated shower room, you've got two bathrooms with showers, you've got one toilet downstairs, another toilet with shower up on the third floor, you've got a communal kitchen, and every other room in the place is just like people's rooms, private rooms. Yes, this chair is comfy. There's a matching sofa right next to me. I'm wondering if any cats are going to. There's a cat there. There are cats here. I don't know if they're going to make an appearance. I'd say they're timid. Some of them are timid, but they're kind of used to me now. Yeah, I mean, at Joe's, it's a flat. It's a nice place. It's got a lovely view. I've brought enough stuff with me that I'm not like filling the place with my stuff, but I can do the things I need to do to not go mad, really, because like lockdown, what I would love to do is be able to go out. So there's a fantastic view of the peak. Where is it? The Peak District, I think it is. The hills over there, Derbyshire Dales. I can see the Dales from here. It would be nice to go walking and taking photos and stuff, but can't do that. Not allowed. So, hello, Herbie. Yeah, things are all right. Health-wise, we're all fine. Lockdown-wise, I mean, it's difficult to not go mad, which is why. Hi, Nuno. I have the time to work on the backlog of games. What I don't have is the games because I'm not at home. I'm at my girlfriend's place. I have brought some games. I've got some games on this laptop, and I've got my 3DS with me, and I've got various different handhelds chock full of emulators. I dug out my JXD N. What the hell is it called? What, or is it SS192, something like that? And what have I put a Dreamcast emulator on it, and I've forgotten what it's called. Not the one everyone's, but not Rycast, but that other one. Forgotten what it's called, and it seems to work quite well. So I was playing some Crazy Taxi on it last night, which was fun. But yeah, all the games that what I wanted to do, I mean, my plan for lockdown was to record lots and lots and lots of gameplay videos. Hello, Banshan. Greetings and welcome. Yeah, I was going to record a whopping great big stockpile of games, but I feasibly could do it, but it would require using emulation. I've got my PS1 Classic Mini Doofer hacked one with custom firmware on it, and I've got tons and tons and thousands of games on that, which I try and avoid using emulation to make gameplay videos, but I suppose I break that rule when I play MAME. So I suppose I could do some arcade gameplay videos. That would work. Hello, Simon. Nice to see you. Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with emulation. It totally serves a purpose, and I use it a lot. Hello, 005 Amiga. Yeah, I use emulation a lot. It's just when I'm doing gameplay videos, I like to use the genuine hardware. I mean, it's just being pedantic is the right word. Because when it comes to actually playing the game, really, it sort of matters if you want the really authentic experience. But if all you're interested in is the game, emulation is just fine. For making videos, I don't know. But I think for MAME, yeah, it's like I can't use the original hardware. Well, there's the thing. If I do arcade games, I kind of think it's fine. What's this? Working on building a night vision scope. Well, that sounds right. Now, is that like infrared, or is that an image intensifier? Japan is going into full emergency mode from today. Wow. What's full emergency mode like in Japan? I mean, is that what are you allowed or not allowed to do? Hello, Jason. Yes, much live blathering. I'm at Joe's. She's at work. I don't know how long I'm going to remain live. Joe is going to be in and out. Image intensifier, awesome. They are such cool things. Is it green? I'm thinking you can. Youngsters, teens and 20-somethings who are the people who were complaining at all the boomers killing the planet and climate change and all of that. And they were quite right to be screaming about climate change, and the older generation have destroyed their future and everything. Fair point, absolutely. But these are the same teens who are now out there thinking they're immune to COVID-19 and taking it home and killing their grandparents. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with my broadband. I don't think it's me this time. I think it's YouTube. Wiggle my. It's not my Wi-Fi. I can't wiggle anything. Boomers killing. Okay. You're too old for the term boomer. You're not too. You're too young for the term. But or are you too old to use it and say it? Hello, Tony. Followed by. Yeah, Generation X here as well. What I was saying before YouTube crapped out on me, the teens who have been jumping up and down and screaming at the older generation for killing the planet, and rightly so, or understandably at least, are also the teens who are wandering around outside, not respecting social distancing and lockdown, and they're then going to go and kill their grandparents by infecting them. That's what I was saying. But how much of that came across, I don't know. Sexy green screen with a little screen burn. Yeah, I think screen burn is. I remember being a teen. I thought I was invincible. In fact, I was I was probably 40 before I realized mortality applied to me. For the longest time, I thought they would cure death before I got old. Don't even ask. Generation X is cool. I'm a Generation X. I actually like the band as well. Not so keen on Billy Idol on his own, but I will take a look at those videos at some point, Simon, because, yeah, image intensifiers, interesting stuff. Teens aren't the most sensible folk in the world. They're in the process of having their brains severely Yes, this is true. There is a teen living in this house, and she's very much a teen, by her own admission. Hello, Eugene. Greetings and welcome. 3 p.m. is it? Goodness. Trying to keep up. Every 5 minutes I get blurrier and blurrier. Soon you'll be pixels. Nothing I can do. I'm on vastly better broadband than I was previously. So any poor quality streaming is, I believe, probably more to do with YouTube. It would probably work better on Twitch, but I don't stream on Twitch, even though I do have an account. Yeah, lots of people who feel that the rules don't apply to them, and I sort of understand it. Part of the problem is you can be asymptomatic but still be contagious, and those are the dangerous people. And yeah, I do, Malk. I agree totally. We grew up at the best time. well, I mean, I grew up when the tech wasn't even there, or I was a kid when the tech wasn't there, home computers and the like. So I saw it right from the start, and seeing it from that start to where we are now, mind-boggling. Hello, Woodland. What am I sipping? G&T? No, it's water. People were told here not to go out for Easter. Some people absolutely did. There was a car crash right outside the flat here. We were sitting watching telly, and there was this enormous bang. I thought it was an explosion, and it was two teens in a car who'd come screaming down the hill round the corner at night in the dark, being twats. I mean, it's a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and they must have been doing 60. They clipped the corner of a VW Golf, writ it off, spun round so they were sideways on, hit a Honda Jazz. That spun them back round up the curb, and they smashed into a tree outside the house here. So they weren't social distancing, and they definitely weren't social distancing when them and 6 of their mates came along the next day to survey the damage. Or, in fact, any of the people in this block of flats who went outside there that night to gawk. I'm just scrolling back. Kent is sunny but riddled with plague. Yes, I think you're right. I think YouTube have kept their bandwidth. Well, it seems that way. And I suppose it's understandable because there are going to be more people at home trying to... been enjoying my photography as well. Oh, awesome, Banshan. I've probably got about a week and a half worth of photos left to upload. And then it's like, I'm going to have to go out and take photos, but that means breaking lockdown unless I'm going for a walk, like exercise walk, and have my camera with me. I don't really know my way around here. Glenn 83100, got a question for you. If there was an alternative history and the PlayStation 1 did not exist, which games console would have won, Sega Saturn or Nintendo 64? That's a really difficult question. Because I'm gonna say the Saturn, because software for it was cheaper, and I'm biased because I like the Sega Saturn and I don't like the Nintendo 64 at all. I don't like the controller. I don't like the games all that much, and I definitely don't like the quality of the graphics because it's just super. And there was an amount of crossover between the Saturn and the PS1 games-wise that just didn't seem to appear on the Nintendo. And when they did appear on the Nintendo, they weren't the same, and to my mind, weren't as good. Hi, Gregory. Hi, Gregory. Good morning from the States. Thanks for the stream, pal. Time to make my morning commute to work. Toilet to the computer. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I've seen people saying, I've got a long trek to my office in the next room. I don't know how to pronounce Gokum. Hello, greetings, welcome. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I can hear something ticking and I can't work out what it is. Splendid isolation saying, I've definitely noticed a lot more bandwidth throttling over the last couple of weeks, but Sky Broadband isn't so good generally anyway. I'm on Sky Broadband here, or rather Joe is. Yeah. She's got the fiber stuff. Largely the bandwidth has been... Well, I don't know about just recently. She did check it and said it was lower than normal, but that was at a time when you would expect there to be like a lot of the neighbors using it. No one had a Saturn. I don't know. N64 v Saturn. I don't know. Did more people have N64s? I mean, yeah, Sega did drop the Saturn because it wasn't doing well, and Nintendo kept supporting the N64 even though it also wasn't doing well. I don't think either did well. But, well, the Saturn would get my vote anyway. Started off with the ZX81 at home and the research machines through A to Z at school. Same, very much the same. Scrolling back, you're all getting ahead of me now. I'm with you there, Mark. I would very much prefer to keep the Pixel. Habib, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I hope everything's well in Dubai. Everything is in England is, well, locked down. Yeah. Getting optical fiber installed coming month. It is. My experience of fiber is it's pretty good. Wait, Mark, haven't you got insanely fast broadband anyway? I seem to remember on Twitter you posted how quick your broadband was, and it blew my mind. N64 had a smaller library than the PS1, but I always found the gameplay was much better on N64 games. PS1 had too much shovel. You see, I would agree that the PS1 had shovelware, but to my mind, the good games on the PS1 were better than the good games on the N64. There are very, very few games on the N64 that I like, where there are quite a few on the PS1 that I like. I don't know. I suppose it comes down to gaming taste. Yeah, the smeary graphics on the N64. I guess it probably wouldn't have mattered too much on an old CRT, where you definitely do notice it on an LCD or modern HD TV. But yeah, might not have noticed it. Bansham says live Q&A. When I was 17 in college, summer holidays, I worked as a night watchman with a mad Alsatian to save money for an Amiga 500. What is the toughest thing you have done to get hardware? um, well, in my teens, I worked in a pub. It's funny, I've kind of gone full circle, and I was bottling up, putting all the bottles behind the bar and everything, and cleaning and doing the garden, and sometimes working in the kitchen and stuff like that. And that enabled me to buy my Acorn Electron. My Amiga, I bought that on, well, no, working, well, I can't remember what job I was doing when I was working for Tesco in the Tesco warehouse to buy my Amiga, but I upgraded it using a credit card, which was a very bad thing to do because I was paying for that thing for like 20 years because I just kept buying more and more stuff on that card until I got myself into some financial bother with that. Things got very difficult. But I've never done a job or jobs specifically to buy hardware. I just bought things when I had the money doing whatever job I was doing at the time. Is that a TV over my shoulder? Yes, though it's being used as a monitor. There's a PC just behind this chair. We've turned the land around our house into a mini farm. My wife has mostly. We have 4 chickens, numerous garden beds. Well, that's actually a really good thing to be doing, I think, Tony, because lockdown being what it is, if you've grown your own food, it's less things you need to go to the shops for. So social distancing. Not a fan of gardening myself, but I think under the circumstances, if I was in a position to do that as well, I would. So good for you and your wife. Hello, Hilly. Greetings and welcome. Nice to see you in here. I didn't think you'd be up at this hour. Sorry, I'm well behind on the comments on the chat thingy. I keep scrolling back to see what everyone's saying, trying not to miss anyone out. A focus break. Habib asks, which Commodore pet would you recommend for someone who's just starting to collect vintage machines? I would say if you're going for a pet, go for a 4032. I've got an 8032, and most of the games were designed for a 40 column character display. And so you have to run another program on the 8032 to be able to display most of the games for it. The 32, I think, just refers to the amount of RAM, and 32K, I think most of the games run within that. That's what I would go for. I'm not by any means an expert. I mean, the only experience I have is with my one. But it wasn't designed for gaming. It was meant for business. And yeah, 4032, I would say. Things in Dubai are in total lockdown, but our numbers are pretty low. We're rolling out more tests than most other countries. That's good. You need to test, lots and lots of testing. Testing in this country is a travesty. I'm at risk of getting political again here, but the BBC are not reporting what is going on accurately. Testing should have been done from the word go, and it wasn't. Lockdown should have happened much sooner, and it didn't. Lots and lots of people have died who didn't need to, because the things that should have been done weren't. Yeah, testing matters a lot. Palin 64 is slow and lacks graphically. I've got a composite output from it, and it's super fuzzo vision. Being close to the exchange helps broadband wise. Yeah, absolutely. Got no idea where the exchange is around here. Thought the Saturn would have won. Agree the N64 game prices was such a put off. Yeah, they were insanely expensive because they were cartridges. It was just so much cheaper to make discs, and you were paying more and effectively getting less because you could fit so much more onto a disc. Dreamcast did have some success. Yeah, Sega never should have dropped the Dreamcast when they did. They dropped the ball, is what they did. I like the Dreamcast. They did good things given the limitations of the hardware. Hello, Dave. Greetings and welcome. Nice to see you here. And I hope you're well. Yes, I'm good. I'm not at home, but I am good. I suppose that is the thing. If you insane broadband speeds look great when it's just you, but when everyone else gets them as well, it's like drawing water from a stream. When everyone does it, the stream will, well, if not dry up, there's less. And 64 or PS1 early 3D looks crap. Yes, I would agree with that. Having said that, I don't like the game, but the visuals on Crash Bandicoot I think are fantastic. Those games look great. They really did something impressive with that. Don't like the game, but I like watching it. Oh, cat. Well, at least you didn't land on the laptop. Come to what? Scrolling back up. Oh, you lot are way ahead of me now. I'm scrolling back up a whole. Come to Japan. My bandwidth speed is 100 megabits per second, up and down. Yeah, I'll be right over. That's insane. I'm scrolling past quite a lot here, seeing if there's anything. Apologies if you said something that I should be responding to. Farmer Benway might have to become Farmer Benway. Yeah. Low resolution textures on the N64 due to lack of RAM and uncompressed textures in the ROM. Not enough space in the ROM to hold. Yeah, that was the thing. You had cartridges to store the games on, and there was less storage, but it was expensive, so you were paying more for less. Still haven't restored your pet. Do it, Tony. They are just, they're great. I mean, I didn't have to do a lot to mine. I had to sort my keyboard out, which meant basically ripping it apart and putting this graphite goo on the connectors. And here's Jo. Hello. With her mask. She's got her PPE, such as it is, which they don't give them much. She's a carer in the community, and that at the moment is currently one of the travesties and injustices and total balls ups that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Do you want to say hi?
Hello. Hi, I'm Jo. You've not really seen me before, but I'm just on a break.
We won't be able to see their responses for a while. I'm scrolled half the way back up the thing trying to keep up with them all.
Is it faster?
It is and it isn't, because I think probably they're saying a lot of broadband providers are throttling Sky, especially they're throttling the broadband because there's more people using the broadband. So it's like when it's working, it's good, but it does keep lagging every now and then. But it's a whole lot better than at my place. Carl Hansen says, "Can you say in your English accent, 'Oi, love, let me get a go on'?" No, I'm not bloody saying that. Don't be obscene. Sitting here, not quite right in the sun, but I'm frying here. Get political, Steve. Yeah, Hamer, my Patreon has. When I mentioned that I was no longer getting paid and that I was furloughed, I got a lot of new Patreon supporters. And then when I said I was not getting paid more, and I can't even begin to say how grateful I am to all of those supporters. It takes some of the pressure off. I'm having to trust that the government will sort out the furlough payment scheme. But until then, Patreon is it's not paying the rent, but it's putting food on the table. Having much chair envy right now. That looks incredibly comfy. It's a nice big. It's one of those. Actually, I haven't even done what I. It's a recliner. Yeah. So I could put my feet out and just settle down and get really comfortable. But then I'd fall asleep and you'd all have to watch me snoring, and that wouldn't be good. Hello, Tactical Pirate. Greetings and welcome. Scrolling. Okay, Banshan, nice to you've probably gone by now, but apologies for not replying sooner, but I'm trying to keep up. Nice to see you again. Take care. Oh. No. Okay, I don't know who that is, but they can. Yeah, auto moderating by YouTube is quite good. That's preventing some obscenities. Got a big collection of CRTs in the attic. Mark, yeah, I hope you've got strong beams or whatever, rafters, whatever they call them, in your attic. Bunch of CRTs up there. UK lockdown could force pubs to ditch 50 million pints of beer. Yeah, it's absolutely true. When they shut down, I don't know if they'd just had a delivery a couple of days before. I think actually that delivery might not have happened. They may have held off on that. But there will be places they've just had a delivery and the beer is just going to be sitting there in the cellars going off. Crash was the only game that looked good. Crash is amazing. I don't know, the Spyro games look good as well on the PS1. Many people saying hello. I've just got to the bit where you just. So I'm. One MSX to go is saying, "Hi Steve, how's the GDMU for your Dreamcast doing? Have you had any issues like freezing up during gameplay?" I've had no issues whatsoever. And what I haven't done that I should do is replace the power supply and uprate the or alter the fan. That kind of thing is recommended. I think Rob Geigerpunk did he make a video showing how to do that? I know he was showing bits of it on Twitter. I know he's uprated his. I haven't done it on mine. I know mine gets warm, but I haven't had any problems. It's not blown up or conked out or anything. But I do largely. I'm only really using it for making videos and not running it for extended periods of time. Atari 2600 dude. Hey Steve, greetings from Melbourne, Australia. Hello, and greetings from Chesterfield in England. Anyone got any family or relations with COVID out of interest? Not here. I'm thankful that no one who I know has got it. Everyone is safe so far, and I'm very thankful for that. Retro Rewind is saying, as you know, I like emulation of older systems, but recently tried a Nintendo Switch emulator. It ran well, but then my morals kicked in and thought, is this right? Wonder what your thoughts. Yeah, I suppose with the Switch, I mean, it's a current system, morally, legally, and in probably pretty much every other way, it isn't right. There will be kids out there who will be like, yay, free games. I am of a view that I try to only emulate stuff that's old, where the company that's making the stuff isn't making money anymore from it. Yeah, I'm kind of with you in that. I wouldn't. Well, I would from a technical perspective, I would be like, I want to see if I can do that. But then having done it, I wouldn't. I suppose I'd rather play it on the real hardware anyway. Technical challenge, yeah. As a way of getting around paying for a game, not so much. Wow. Just reading about your experience there, Mark. How bad did you have it? I mean, the lag here means I'm asking this along several minutes after you've said that, and it'll probably be several minutes before I see a response. I just wonder how bad that was. You see, I wonder if I've had it already. When before lockdown, about a week before lockdown, I had an episode where I got diarrhea, and then the next day, I once that had stopped, basically, I went to work and I was just exhausted, and I spent pretty much 2 days in bed, just exhausted, which I put down to having had pretty bad diarrhea, and I had a headache, which I also put down to just being exhausted and stressed and worn out and everything. But I also had this thing that I've been reading about called fizzing skin. And I still get occasionally, which it's what it sounds like. It's just this nasty fizzing, buzzing, tingling sensation in the skin. And mostly it was in my legs. And I had aching legs and everything. And it's like, might have just, I just thought, it's just some minor virus. But now I think about it, and I'm not so sure. And this is where they really need the antibody test. They keep saying there's one coming. Well, yeah. Lovely to see Jo. She seems really nice. Happy for you, Steve. Thank you, Mel. She is really nice. She's sitting there grinning now. I hate the fact YouTube has auto-centering in the chat. I know what you mean, Simon, though I'd be honest, on this particular occasion, I'm glad that it did, because there was some highly inappropriate stuff being posted in the chat. Do you like Jar Jar Binks? No, Jar Jar Binks is an asshole who never should have existed. Tactical Pirate says, 50 million pints. I'm off to the nearest sewer. I may be gone a while. Yep. Yeah, it's a tragedy, all that beer that's going to go, well, down the drain. What, you haven't been getting all my obscenities? I don't know. I've seen the filtering has caught a few obscenities that I've posted. I see everything, but it prevents everyone else seeing certain things. And most of the stuff where there's been a bit of swearing here or there, no, I'm not. The filter catches it, and then I allow it. So yeah, they're mostly getting through. Dave saying, I'll buy a barrel or two for a discount. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Andy Hewitt. Greetings and welcome, and I hope you're well. Structural integrity of our previous home actually perhaps was overstressed, according to the movers back then. What had you got in your loft? Was that just the CRT? You cut back on the CRTs? I just don't even want to know how many you had. What consoles, computers do you have access to at Joe's place? Okay, there's the stuff I brought with me, which is this. I brought 2 laptops and a palm top PC Windows machines. I brought my RG350. I've got a LD LDK game, I've got a GPDXD, and I've got a JXD Singularity. Is it S192? And then Joe has got a PS. Oh, I also brought a PS1 Mini. Joe has also got a PS1 Mini here, and a PS3, and a PS4, and a PS2. So, yeah, there's no lack of gaming opportunities. Uh,
How long have you been on?
it was 1:45.
Oh,
Dean Swain is here. Hello, Dean. One MSX to go says I've replaced the power supply and will change the fan and battery next. Was having issues with freezing and sound. This was down to a cheap memory card. I've changed the card and it works fine now. Yeah, I've heard that kind of thing. Actually, I've had with various, actually more with like handheld emulation systems. But yeah, the card, especially if they're pulling a lot of data off the card, it definitely pays to use a better one. I'm wondering how many people are dying of regular flu at the moment, because around 17,000 die of it each year in the UK. Someone tests positive for COVID-19 but died of flu, then which list is valid? There is going to be a lot of that. There are people who are dying of things. They've got COVID, but they're dying of, say, a heart attack. The question becomes, would they have died of the heart attack anyway, or was COVID the main factor in that? You're never going to get 100% accurate statistics, but it's safe to say that a hell of a lot more people are dying with the advent of COVID-19 than if it wasn't around, and lockdown is absolutely necessary. That there are a lot of people who are saying it's not necessary, these people would have died anyway. I say bollocks. They would. And look at all the healthcare workers who are dying, who most definitely wouldn't be dying going around, and I just think they're stupid and dangerous. Richard, he's saying, I had the tiredness and the tingly, restless legs. It turned out I had bugger all iron in me, and I should take vitamin D tablets. I feel a lot better now. I'm taking vitamin D tablets and vitamin C and getting the B12 supplements and zinc as well. So, yeah, I don't know what was wrong with me. We'll probably never know the full numbers. No, I agree. I think there is a lot. Oh, that's jumped a long way ahead. I've lost my train of thought now. Pemberley, yes, Pemberley64 said, good evening from here in Australia. Greetings and welcome from here in England. Mark, Lactobacillus prime. I had it pretty bad, almost ended up in hospital. Got to stay home because I knew well what was going on, and the GP trusted my judgment too. Going to hospital would have been worse in my case. It's definitely different from the regular flu. It attacks the immune system differently. Acute phase proteins are activated en masse, and that can actually cause clotting issues as well. That's pretty scary. Yeah, if I had anything at all, it was very, very mild. But I just think I had a bug. I'm glad you're well. I hope you're feeling better, Mark. I'm presuming you are feeling better. If not, I hope you feel better soon, because that sounds pretty horrible. People are dying because of the bad news. there's probably some people who are suffering ill effects from stress and anxiety, and that can have an effect on health. I would agree with that. But the whole thing needs to be taken seriously. It should have been taken seriously a lot sooner than it was. A lot of people have died because it wasn't. The economy is going to kill more people, I fear. There's going to be a lot of hardship because the economy is going to tank, but I think the potential is there for those people to not die. That is entirely down to government. If you've got a responsible government, those people won't die. If you've got an irresponsible right-wing capitalist twat-run government, US and UK, people will die. That is not an inevitable thing. That's down to the people running the show. Where the hell did the media and government believe the bullshit Chinese numbers? You can't blame the Chinese. Lots of warning was given. If they chose to ignore the warnings, that's on them. The numbers are an irrelevance. I don't know what the numbers were coming out of China. It honestly doesn't matter. The fact is, it was a pandemic. Well, at that time it was an epidemic, but it was obvious it was going to spread. And as soon as it got to other countries, there were still weeks. Britain had weeks. Britain had probably over a couple of months. Lots of warning. More should have been done. I'll refrain from being a medical doctor here. In the comments that people don't take this whole thing serious enough. Putin, vodka. What? There's someone with a Russian name that I can't read. Okay, I don't know what you're saying. Putin, yeah, vodka, okay. Have you been following the Evercade handheld? And is it something that interests you? Is that the thing with it's cartridge based? So it's kind of like all these emulation based things that a lot of us play around with, but you buy the games on cartridges. I'm aware of it. I can see how it would suit some people. And there's probably some truth to the fact that if you've actually spent money on the cartridge, you're more likely to play the games, where when you just download 1,000,000,001 ROMs, you're just constantly like 5 minutes on this, skip to the next game and the next, and you don't get, I would say, value for money, but you haven't paid. So I think it's good that it exists. I think it will appeal to some people who don't want to have to mess around with emulators, or just don't have the technical know-how to deal with emulators, but want to play classic games on a handheld. It's good that it exists. It's not for me. For me, it serves no purpose whatsoever. All of those games I can play already on. I've got several handhelds that will do it. So yeah, it's not aimed at me though, or people like me. There's a different market for it. Yep, Tactical Pirate says, I've just finished 3 weeks of self-isolation. They won't test me, just keep telling me to self-isolate. Weird, all I know is felt ill, still dizzy and weak at the moment. Yeah, testing is an essential and they're not doing it, and it's a travesty. My wife had heart issues before Christmas, so it's considered high risk. So she can't nurse COVID patients. Yeah. I mean, I worry about Jo. She's a carer in the community, and it's like it's safer than the care homes, which are currently death traps. these people are in their own homes and largely are taking precautions and not having visitors, effectively self-isolating. So she's not as at risk, but it's still a worry. My sister is a nurse in a private hospital, and she tells me she is on the front line, and I find that very worrying. I don't envy her at all. I don't know the details of what she's doing. Right, as Rain says, I'm glad I'm an introvert. Just saying, I'm yes. There are definitely benefits to being an introvert under these circumstances. I'm just going to pull that. I'm frying. Oh. We need economy to fund NHS, though. Yes, we do, but it's no good if everyone's dead. The thing is, you deal with the virus first, then you deal with the economy, not the other way around. If you do it the other way around, everything falls apart because too many people die. That's why New York and California aren't going to listen to what the moron Trump has to say. I'm so glad about that. My opinion of Trump, I can't say it. They'd shut me down, or I'd have CIA goons come knocking on the door or something. Yeah. Jim Plays Games is here. Hello, Jim. Trump was too busy playing golf to prepare the US. Yeah. Where was that? God forbid someone gets diagnosed in one of the major slums in India. Millions will die. Well, this is it. Well, the slums anywhere. And, yeah. High populations in small confined spaces where there's no room to isolate at all. Death traps. The NHS has panic bought and there's going to be a spike in money needed, but without an economy to pay for it. You need to stop focusing on the economy. The economy will be sorted out. Yeah. It came from China. It did come from China. You're right, UK government was way too late in responding. They were. Where are we at? Trump is a fool. He wasted valued time. He went, called virus a hoax. Yeah, American and British government have both been really, really, really poor in their response. Ignored it for a long while, thought it doesn't matter, it doesn't apply to us. We're a developed nation, it can't hurt us. Just really foolish. Laws. Hi from Wales, folks. I'll try and join in a bit once I finish my egg. What? Egg banjo? I have no idea what that is. Is that a musical instrument or a meal? Or a musical instrument that you eat? I don't know. I want one. Trump made America first in coronavirus deaths. Yeah. I'm not a political person, but I think the government over here, Australia, have handled it really well. Our stats are really low. You see, Australia, I was watching a documentary recently about the Spanish flu, and Australia managed to remain pretty much free from the Spanish flu. It's harder with this one because air travel, it's easier to get to Australia than it was. But Australia does have a record of keeping pandemics out. and good on them. Incidentally, for those who don't know, and I keep seeing this thing actually, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep having digs at America and Trump, calling it Chinese flu because it comes from China. Okay, fine. But if that's the case, Spanish flu needs to be renamed the USA flu because Spanish flu came from the USA, not Spain. It was called the Spanish flu because during World War One, Spain being neutral, they were not subject to restrictions on reporting and censorship and all of that lot. So in Spain, they could talk about the flu pandemic, where in Britain and Europe, it was deemed bad for morale and nothing was reported about it. And so because Spain was talking about it, everyone was like, oh, see, it's the Spanish flu. Dumb. It came from America. Celia Chen says, I'm in China, still wear masks every day. Yeah, it's interesting actually that, well, a graph that I saw that showed like death rates in, it was, I don't know if it was including China, but it was Korea and Japan showed the death rate was lower in countries where wearing a mask in public is common and normal and accepted. Where over here it's not. And they're finally just starting to conclude that, yeah, maybe we should be wearing masks in public. Trying to get hold of one, on the other hand, not so easy at the moment. Roscoe Haynes says, life is going to change drastically over this. That's the first thing you've said that I agree with you, I think, on this subject. Yes, it absolutely is going to change very drastically. There is going to be a new normal, and it's not what we currently consider normal. Malk says, my friend's mum passed away at the start of the year. The family are now fairly convinced that COVID had something to do with it. Yeah, sorry to hear that. There's going to be a lot of people where before it was like big news, but people, I'm pretty sure people had it before that they knew it was a thing over here, and people will have died from it without knowing that's what it was. That's going to be a thing. Tony saying that I don't need an Evercade. I have too many handheld systems already. Did start playing with a 3DS for the first time the other day, though. I started playing with my 3DS yesterday, day before, for the first time in a long while. I started playing Super Mario 3D World, Land, whatever, for the first time in ages, and I sat there swearing. I had forgotten how platform games make me swear. I don't know if you noticed.
No, but I've never seen you really play it. I mean, you've seen me, because I'm
Yeah.
watching him playing
Yeah.
Inspire and all that. So, yeah, I like the platform. They are infuriating, but I do like them.
I'll have to let you have a go on that because, I mean, you can turn the 3D off. Though it is better with the 3D, it's really clever and I suck at it, but it's very, very clever game design. But I was swearing like a sweary thing. Where are we at? Like all things that go bad with the world, some good things come out of it, namely families spend time with each other and go back to basics. These things were standard until technology. Yeah. Definitely a good thing good if you've got a good family. My actual family, I love my sister, but the rest of them can get stuffed. But spending time with Joe is great. And yeah, she's oblivious now.
I'm listening.
she's yeah,
I'm just
she is.
sorry,
She's busy. She's doing stuff for work.
making dinner.
Dinner.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not having a salad.
uh,
It's too warm for anything else.
yeah. Is it hot out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I haven't
is.
ventured out. John 1207. Good day all. Finally, Steve live without buffering hell. Yes, because it was buffering earlier apparently. Although it's at no point has it booted me off saying you're disconnected. So it seems to be working. Our governors are taking charge since Trump hasn't got a clue how to do his job. Good. I tell you what. I mean, I always thought if Trump did really, really stupid things, he would be removed. But it seems like there just isn't the will to remove him, which shocks me. And the tragedy is he's probably going to get a second term because what's his face? I mean, I was a big, big Bernie Sanders supporter, and this other guy, he's just rubbish. And don't even get me started on Keir Starmer over here. Yeah, there's a whole story that's not making the mainstream over here. Scandal within the Labour Party that mostly I think most people are oblivious to, but I'm furious. I'm not ready to tear up my Labour Party membership card, but I'm furious. Where are we at? Where are we at? I've missed a load here. Oh, I've God, I'm miles away from where you lot are. You're. I'm probably 10 minutes behind what all of you are saying, and every once in a while the thing. Mark Lactobacillus Prime has gone probably several minutes ago. Apologies, Mark. I missed that because can't keep up. I wonder if the better thing for me to do would actually just be to respond to things as I see them rather than try and respond to everything. I don't know. I'm going to try and quickly scroll through this and take it you haven't a family or business. I have a family. I don't. Life comes before business. Don't put business first. People's lives matter more. Jacobim Mugatu says, "What's your favorite anime?" Akira, absolutely Akira. I mean, I'm kind of old school. I haven't kept up with anime, so I like Akira. I like Ghost in the Shell. I've watched some Pat Labor, I don't know how you meant to pronounce it. I like that. And I like Urotsuki Doji, Legend of the Overfiend. The animation on it was kind of crap, but it was cool. The Chinese communists and Trump both call the virus fake news. That's why a free press is so important. The thing is, a free press is only any good if it's actually interested in providing balanced reporting. And in the UK, we have a so-called free press, but it only prints what the billionaire newspaper owners want printed, which is not balanced. It is supporting the government largely. They're not holding power to account. They're holding the opposition to account, and that's not how it's meant to work. So, Retro Rewind says no people equals economy. Pointless. So keep people alive, then worry about the money. Economy will bounce back. Once you're dead, you're dead. Simple. Yeah, absolutely. Any government or any person who says you've got to put the economy first, bollocks, you're an idiot. Lars says, one thing to come out of all this is my Amiga 2000 has had some much needed love lately. Good. Yes, excellent. Enslave the few. I'm just not even going to respond to any more of that. Yep. Jim Plays Game says, we don't name viruses after their place of origin in the modern age because that's kind of distasteful. Yeah, it's distasteful. It's also often very inaccurate. Spanish flu came from the Chinese workforce in late 1916, early 1917. From what I understand, it came from a duck farm in the USA. There was nothing that said it was a Chinese duck farm. It was an American cook. He was a farmer. He joined the army. He went to be a cook. And it ripped through the army training camp where he was working. And then all those soldiers already infected were shipped over to Britain. No, Europe. They were shipped over to Europe, and it ripped through the trenches and spread through the whole of Europe. Not aware of any Chinese element in that. Yeah. Egg banjo is egg on toast with a soft yolk. You bite into it, drips on your shirt, and you wipe it off. It looks like you're playing a banjo. That's great. I've never heard that before. That's great. Large percentage of COVID-19 cases in Australia came from the USA, as they had already let it get into the community. Yeah. Much respect to Joe. My partner has just got back from her job on a private hospital. She's not on the wards, but there are COVID patients in there. Yeah, it's I have massive respect for anyone who's working in care or healthcare. It's essential and it's dangerous. Hello, John Marston. Greetings and welcome. I'm glad Simon's saying, I'm glad my mum is retired from the NHS. She is working in a supermarket. Those supermarkets are, yeah, they're also dangerous. It's also essential work. And I think a supermarket is safer than a hospital. It's still pretty scary. Anything really, where you're coming in contact with large numbers of the public, dangerous. Australian health people say masks are only for if you're ill, not as a stop to getting it. The thing with masks, and they showed a really good diagram last night, and I'm not sure what country this came from. If you got one person standing in front of another and this person coughs, that person's going to get it. Very, very high chance. If you got the two people standing each other, this person's wearing a mask, that person isn't. The risk is reduced. If you got this person and that person both wearing a mask and this one coughs and that one doesn't, the risk is reduced even more. If you've got them standing 2 meters apart and this one coughs and they're both wearing masks, the risk is reduced even more. And if they do that and they're washing their hands regularly as well, the chances of infection are vastly reduced. Basically, everyone should wear masks and respect social distancing and wash their hands. All of those things should be normal. They should be like, not even think about it. It should just be like a standard social practice. Wear a mask, wash your hands, stand 2 meters apart. So I've just walked in halfway through this, but it's annoying. Much disruption. There will be, even after lockdown is long gone. Yeah, absolutely. It's not the whole thing. Life is disrupted, and it's going to stay disrupted. The consequences of all of this are going to be very long-lived. The world is changed, and it's going to stay changed. Pemberley 64 says, I'm actually enjoying the home isolation and beginning to enjoy working from home. It makes you be more self-introspective. I wasn't, I mean, I'm a introvert, and I was enjoying it right up to the point that I was starting to lose the plot a little bit. I was just hadn't spoken to another human being face to face for 3 weeks, and that messes with your head a bit. Hilly's going to bed. It's 11 o'clock at night there. Thank you for joining us, Hilly, and it's lovely to see you live and be able to. Oh, we didn't really get to chat, but to say hi. Sleep well if you're still watching. A new normal. Chucking your dinner around.
I am picking the cob off.
Yeah.
As in northern cob.
You're northerner. Yeah. I know that word. Some of them do. It's a roll. Maybe a bat. Yeah. We're having discussions about what you call a bread roll. Joe's a northerner. I'm a southerner. Moving on. The new normal might be going to a mate's place for drinks rather than going to the pub. Possibly. I don't know, you see. I don't want that to be the new normal because I'll be out of a job. But yes, realistically speaking, I could see that happening. It depends how sensible people are and how much do people want to take precautions versus go out with their mates and get plastered in a group. Steve Barber asks, did you buy new PS4 games lately? No, I haven't bought any in quite a while. Because the last game I bought was Spider-Man, and I completed that, and then went back to Skyrim and completed that, and now I've been playing a bit of Gran Turismo, and that's about it. I'm sort of stumped on the PS4 at the moment. Well, I mean, it's neither here nor there at the moment because I'm not at home. So, no, there's nothing on it that's really grabbing me at the moment. God, it's the scroll has jumped forward and I've missed a whole load. I'm scrolling back to try and find where did I get to? Much love to Jo. She's my hero. Oh, she's a hero. She's my hero. Wong Lee says, not China's fault. Now, honestly, I think all the people who are saying blame China are just, they're being carried along by some very divisive politicians who, sorry, Millie, they're looking for someone to blame to distract from the fact that they're doing a piss poor job over here. Viruses are always going to happen. and where they happen is where they happen. And regardless of the job that the Chinese government did, whether it was good or not, you can't blame China. And anyone who does, I think, is just being misguided at best. Joe Biden, that's the name of the guy I couldn't think of. Yeah, I mean, what are they thinking of? He's just no. Walked away from Labour. Okay, Roscoe. Having seen previous comments of yours on here, I find it hard to believe that you were a member of the Labour Party, because certainly the things that you were saying sounded pretty not in keeping with traditional Labour values. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's certainly how it read anyway. But I'm not going to dig into that. I've lost my place. SMC Guild, 1969. Sorry to bring the mood down. Did you ever go to Fun City in Bletchley as a youngster in the 80s? That place could have made you want to isolate back then. Fun City in Bletchley. What was fun? I don't think so. I don't know what that is. Was that an arcade? I know there was a nightclub in Bletchley that I went and saw a couple of bands at. I can't remember what it was called. It was rough. But Fun City, no, I don't know what that was. Yeah, I think Trump will win again, because while he's an absolute maniac and a moron and an idiot, he has a strong brand that a certain sector of the population over there support, whereas Biden is clearly just rubbish. Bernie Sanders, he should have got the nomination. It's a travesty that he didn't. Scrolling down. This is showing what me trying to keep up is doing in terms of conversational lag. Youngest daughter watched Akira with me recently for the first time, and she enjoyed it. I need to introduce her to Ghost in the Shell next. Good call. I mean, Akira's fantastic. It still boggles my brain. And Ghost in the Shell is... I tell you what, I mean, for all the hoo-ha about casting in the live-action Ghost in the Shell, I still think that's a good film. I enjoyed that. I think they did a pretty good effort of recreating the anime. Maths is fun for activity at home. Okay. If you say so. I've never found maths to be something I would do for fun.
I do.
Huh?
I do.
You do? Really?
Yeah, I went to the GCSE maths.
But for fun?
Yeah, never know. Yeah.
Okay.
I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed doing maths. I was surprised myself, actually. But yeah. I like maths.
I don't. Yeah. I worry about violent civil unrest. I'll tell you what, so do I. I don't know how near we are to that. Certainly in some places, I think like in India, it's absolutely a risk. In Britain at the moment, I don't know. I think things would have to be a good bit worse. Partly, I think, because the media and the BBC are giving such a distorted view of what's really happening. If the spin and propaganda, or not, it's not propaganda, it's just not, they're not telling the whole story. They're showing everything in the best possible light in terms of the government response. If everybody was on Twitter, if the whole population of the UK was on Twitter and reading getting a more balanced view of what's actually happening and how things are being handled, then you might have social unrest because people would rightly be pissed off. But I suppose that's the nature of propaganda and the way the BBC are spinning it and giving it all, showing it in the best light. It is to stop unrest. Is that the right thing to do? You see, I think if they held the government to account and said, you're doing a piss poor job, do better, maybe they would do a better job. Don't know. Wait to Tell Me says, nice t-shirt. Thank you. Invader Zim. I like Invader Zim. He's cool. Simone Strogan is back. I'm God, I'm not pronouncing that right. Stogrin. There we go. Welcome back. Loz says, could never get into anime. I prefer my animation a little bit fluffier. Joe agrees.
Yeah.
I
Sasha wouldn't agree with you.
with me.
No,
She likes anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And manga.
Yeah. Joe's daughter likes anime. Celia Chen says, lots of public places open here in China, but still not many people go out. My self-isolation started from 24th of January and still keeps going. Yeah, I suppose people over there have got the gist of how things should be done and how to stay safe without having to be told. Over here, older people have and younger people haven't. Simon says, I'm glad I collect I'm not sure what you mean, grade gas masks. Never thought I'd be using them to save my life. Well, yeah. A number of times I've wanted to buy one, but never actually did. Tony says, I'll start signing off. My wife will be home from her shift soon. I'll still listen for a while, but thank you for the stream, Steve. Hope you continue to stay safe and well. Well, I hope you stay safe yourself, Tony, and your wife and your family. Look after yourselves. Thank you for joining us. Glenn 83100 says, hi, Steve. What do you think will change after the virus disappeared in the future? Well, that's a possibility, yeah. I think if the responsible thing is done, the health service should be maintained in a better condition so that it can respond more quickly. There should be procedures in place for, I think what will change will be procedure. I think things will happen more quickly. There will be like automatic responses in place. Governments and organizations will know how to deal with stuff, and the facilities, protective clothing or whatnot, supply lines will be improved. I think it will just be that people will know how to deal with this kind of thing more quickly without all the dithering and poor organization and poor supply.
Or they'll do like they do in China with all the surveillance thing on the phones and the apps.
That's yeah. I don't know.
They'll know if anybody's got anything.
I don't know if you heard that. Joe was saying they may do like they do in China with the apps on the phones for tracking people. They would need to do testing here, and they have an ID system, I believe, in China. And I know we've got a couple of viewers in here from China who may be able to confirm this. You've got an ID system, so your actual genuine ID is part of your phone ID. So they know basically through your GPS on your phone exactly where you are. And they can tell you if you're near someone who's got COVID, or they can tell if you're breaking lockdown. And if you are, they come get you. That's what we're told. So yeah, that may be a thing. ID in the UK is a bit of a contentious thing. Gordon Brown tried to bring it in, and that didn't work. And it was stupidly expensive, and civil liberties and all of that lot were brought into question. But the technology is there. It might happen.
It will happen. Not mine.
Joe says it will happen.
Yes, and I'm going to
Okay. I'm probably going to admit. What's this? Scrolling back, trying to catch up. Okay. I think I'm gonna have missed a lot of stuff here. Hey Steve, this is John Marston. Are you near Chesterfield now? Have you checked out Matlock Bath? It's basically an inland seaside resort. Yeah, I am in Chesterfield now. I don't live in Chesterfield. I live in Worksop, but Jo lives in Chesterfield, and I'm staying at her place during lockdown. I have seen Matlock Bath. Didn't actually get to go there. I've sort of seen it from a distance. I've been to Matlock several years ago, and we drove sort of past it. Didn't get to go up the hill and see the place itself. It looked like it'd be gobsmacking. Apologies to anyone who's. I think I've caught up with where I was. Retro Rewind has got to go. Take care, Dave. Nice to see you on here again. And yes, we absolutely have to catch up after this is all done and dusted. Laura says, I got to the point where the cats are getting suspicious. Why is he still here, and why are we getting so much so many scratches? Yes. The North is barbarian country. Yeah, but barbarians are great. What are your favorite consoles? Asks Shady Killers. Favorite consoles? PlayStations, largely, of fairly recent systems. 16-bit era Mega Drive, 8-bit era Atari 2600 Vader. And I like the 32X, and I like the Atari Jaguar, and I like the 3DO. Yeah. And a lot of it depends on what mood I'm in. And in terms of like 1632-bit computers, Amiga, 8-bit computers, Acorn Electron, and or Atari 8-bit, depending what mood I'm in. John Marston says, dude, the North isn't barbarian. I've only argued with 5 cows this week. Simone's neighbour had a garden party on Saturday with his mates, the idiot. Yes, he's an idiot. As anyone who's having a party at this time is just dumb. Wet markets should be banned, though. Top scientists are saying they're a breeding ground for transmission. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Well, no, I heard that that Wuhan wet market has reopened. The mind boggles. But I suppose the thing is, when you live in a country with that, so is it 5 billion or nah, whatever the size of the population of China, yeah, massive, massive population. It might seem to us like they eat some weird things, but when you've got that many people to feed, you're pretty much going to eat anything that's edible. If it doesn't kill you, you'll eat it. I think a lot of it is out of necessity rather than culture, maybe. I don't know because I'm not Chinese, but that's trying to look at it from a logical standpoint. That seems. Yeah, I know. Yeah. We just need a small child to come romping in the room. Yeah. I love that video clip. The guy who's on the news and his child comes romping in the room, and then was it the mother or the nanny? I think it's the mother came rushing in the room trying to get the child before he's on camera. But yeah. Have you seen the 2011 film Contagion? In many ways, that film was spot on with what happened. I haven't seen that. But I have heard of it, and they put it on the telly recently. I think it was on the BBC. It was like someone had got a sense of humor, or maybe they were doing it as a cautionary tale, like, this is what happens, pay attention, do this. I don't know. Steve, I highly recommend watching some Advi China. They're a really good channel. I'm totally oblivious to that. Have you watched any new movies or TV shows that has taken your liking? We watched Picard from start to finish. Loved that. I've just finished watching season 4 of Preacher. Love Preacher. We binge watched Game of Thrones over the course of a couple of months. Yeah. What else we've been watching? Westworld. Oh yeah, Westworld. Love Westworld. We are watching War of the Worlds on Fox. Yeah. Quite a bit of stuff. My brain being the way it is, I can't remember half of what we're watching. Quite a bit of good stuff. What do you think of the Sweden's loose approach, where there is no real restrictions apart from the usual guidelines, no hard lockdown like in the UK, still not making many casualties compared to other countries? I am surprised that that's working well, but if it's working, fine. But the thing is, how long has it been in the country? We didn't have many cases to begin with, so they didn't lock down, and then they spiked and they locked down. But the thing is, if you lock down before they spike, you save an awful lot of lives. If you wait until people are dying, you're too late. So I think it's ill-advised, but maybe there are other factors involved in Sweden. I don't know. The most reliable predictor of who will win an election is the money spent on the campaign. That is true. Another predictor is who the media are rooting for. And they say they're unbiased, but they're not. And in the case of Labour in 2017, you're just not going to win if the officials in your party are trying to undermine the party, which is what happened. And that's just coming to light. So, but yeah, if that's an American thing, Trump's going to win it, which is tragic. Biden seems senile or on his way there. I haven't seen what he's said, but everything I've read suggests that's the case. So for him to get the nomination is just a travesty. Kira has some of the most amazing body horror. I tell you what was that thing I watched? Something Body Hammer. It wasn't the anime. It was a Chinese live action thing. Something Body Hammer. I can't remember. Or was that an Akira thing? Was it Akira Body? I can't remember, but I remember watching that and thinking, "Oh my god, some guy sticking an iron bar into his leg. That was weird." Sorry, but in my view, you can't pretend that it's no one's fault. That absolves people of responsibility and gives rise to taking the piss. Yes and no. I think the whole blame China. A virus is going to happen. Don't know if they did well enough in containing it. Don't know. I do know that certainly our own governments need to be held to account because the British government is doing a piss poor job, and I do believe they're at fault. I don't know about China because I don't live there, and what we get to hear about China is very biased. Don't believe anything you hear on the BBC about anything that's happening in another country because it's spin. It's all presented with an agenda. Let's see the live action Ghost in the Shell. Worth watching then. Absolutely, yes, it's good. It's very enjoyable. Can you hear Rhino? There's a cat here called Rhino. After the Ratchet and Clank.
Rhino.
Well, we can. There we go.
Yeah. No, not on me.
There, cat's butt. You want to see cat's butt.
That's it, Rhino.
You're well, not famous. You've got 70 people. Good God, there are 70 people watching. You're all mad. Isn't Sudoku just a maths for fun? Probably. I've never done Sudoku, to be honest. So yeah, that might be a good description of it. Twitter, or as I call it, Twatter, is not a good place to get your info. Too much echo chamber syndrome with that. That is true if you only listen to the people who are saying one thing. The trick is to listen to lots of people from all sides and then get a balanced view. Good day from New Zealand. Enjoy the bids. Thank you. How do I pronounce that? I'm going to say L. That's one of those weird A and E things. I have no idea how to pronounce it. We'll say Elfwine. Hello and greetings. Or is it Aelfwine? Is that how you would pronounce that? Brain exploding now. Joe Biden has early signs of dementia. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But then on the other hand, so does Trump. So neither of those people should be in power. Just totally inappropriate. It says something about American politics, the kind of people that got in power at the moment. Best propaganda tool any government could ever want is a TV in every home. Yeah, absolutely.
And the internet in every house.
Yeah. Internet, you can be picky with internet. Oh, yes, as a means of control, yes. Not into video games, etc. Give me a good Jane Austen book. Do you know what I do? I'm guessing. Did you just come for the conversation? I suppose because it's a in the title, lockdown live stream. Yeah, my channel for the most part is a video games channel. That's what I But yes, this is a pretty much general. Well, it is pretty much a lockdown conversation. Oh, Tetsuo, yes, Tetsuo the Iron Man. That was it. Yep. I'm still trying to find where was I at. Lost me place. God, I'm way back. Old school NYC gamer. Afternoon, Steve. Hope all is well down your way with the situation we're all dealing with at the moment. Things here are, I think, well, New York is sounding kind of scary at the moment. Yeah. Everyone I know is okay. That's all I can say, really. The state of the nation, don't know, really. But everyone I know is okay, and I hope you're okay, and everyone you know. I know New York is pretty scary at the moment. Well, yeah. Hello, Mensky is here. You've got to admit, this hell dimension we're all Mandela effect jumped into about 5 years ago has been consistently entertaining, but I prefer to go back to my own timeline now. Yes. It's pretty messed. I'll tell you when it all went to hell. When David Bowie died. All the best pop stars died, and the whole world went mad, and it hasn't gone back to normal since then. We need just bring David Bowie back somehow. Fix the world. I don't want to be tracked. I heard people are having a chip installed under your skin. No thanks. Tell you what, I did Open University course, IT course a few years ago, because you do hear a thing about people saying, oh, soon everyone will have chips and they can track you everywhere. It's a mistake to confuse the chip that you have under the skin with the kind of chip they can track you with via satellite through your phone or via phone masts and all that lot. RFID chips that go under the skin have a range of about that. So, okay, they could track you if they had RFID receivers in every doorway and on every lamppost and everything like that. But then they don't. So that kind of thing, they're useful as a payment system, as an ID thing. If you want to, you can pay for things with a chip like that. You can gain access to buildings with a thing like that. But as a way of actually tracking people, not so much. Hello, Rod Hull. Greetings and welcome. Apologies that my greeting and welcome is very late from when you've said it, because as I say, that Steve, at least you are one who actually tries to respond to chat. So many don't bother. I try. I mean, it's different when a person's playing a video game. You can't watch the game and watch the chat. But since I'm here to chat with you lot, yeah, I'm I'm skipping some. It's like if there's something I can respond to, I am, but I'm reading everything. Instead of ID chips, how about the theory about 5G being rolled out as a means to enable more accurate tracking of devices? I don't know. I don't really know the specifics of how 5G works in terms of tracking. I do know in terms of fast data, it's very flawed, because the higher the frequency, the higher the radio frequency, yes, the more data you can send down it, because the bits and the bits, you can fit more bits per, like more pulses, if you like, because of the frequency. It doesn't penetrate as well into buildings or anything. It doesn't like traveling through stuff. So if you're not outside, it's not reliable. Workshop. Bruce Dickinson, a close friend of mine here in Australia. Cliff Hall. Oh, and a close friend. I don't know Cliff Hall, but Bruce Dickinson, well, I won't say I know him, but yes, he comes from Workshop, the town where I chose to live. It's sort of, it's not home, but then where I came from kind of doesn't feel like home anymore either. But then I'm not in either of them at the moment. I'm in Chesterfield, where it's also not home, but it's where I am, and it's Joe's home. And yeah, I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be right now. Yeah, Joe likes Chesterfield. Chesterfield is there's more here. There's more stuff. It's a more interesting place than Workshop. Workshop is like it's a good place to be poor because everyone else is poor, and you don't see shops full of things you can't afford because the shops there are just they're as run down as the people. Barbarian by the Darkness is an awesome song. Cool. I don't know where we got to that. It's probably a response to something earlier. Wet markets are also a breeding ground for animal abuse as well. I can believe the treatment of the animals is probably not great. Can you see a revolution in China with the people standing up against the government? I'm not in China, so I can't answer that. But if you saw, I saw what happened in Tiananmen Square, what was broadcast on the TV, and I've seen what happens if you try to rebel in China. They will have no qualms about massacring anyone who stands up to them. So, no. I mean, I don't live there, so I can't say for sure, but what I've seen, I would say that's not going to happen. How old are Hair? Atari 2600 dude says, how old are you, Steve, if I may ask? I'm 51, going on 15, occasionally feeling about 60, but not very often. Washing just exited stage right. Yeah. Yeah. I've noticed movies like Contagion are trending on Netflix. Oh, yeah. John Marston's back on the X-Files right now. But I've never really, in my entire life, I've watched about 2 episodes of the X-Files, and it wasn't my thing. Christina Germain says, hi. Hi, Christina. Welcome. I hope you're still here because I'm a little bit behind on replying to people. Laura says, I found myself binging on Tiger King. I can feel my brain leaking out of my ears as I watch, but I just can't look away. I haven't seen that. I'm aware of its existence. I don't really know what it's about, and I'm definitely not going to watch it. Tiger King.
Oh, right, yeah.
No. More than anything, Steve, government as a whole is to blame. I agree entirely. Absolutely, yes. Anywhere where it's going bad, I mean, the methodology for containing the virus is known. Lockdown, test people. People who are contagious must self-isolate, be made to self-isolate, and then treat the people who need treatment. Give the medical people and carers and everything like that protective equipment. That's how to deal with it, and there are lots of governments who just aren't doing that. If you look it up, the CCP was trying to cover it up from the beginning. I believe that to be true, but just because they were trying to cover it up doesn't also mean they weren't trying to deal with it. I don't know if they were dealing with it. Were they implementing lockdown? Were they testing? Were they trying to trace the people and the contacts, like people who've been infected, find the people they've been in contact with and lock them down? I don't know. The BBC is a terrible organization. Yes, it is. They might do good drama and good comedy and good whatever, but in terms of news, terrible. It's just a propaganda tool. It's not a public broadcast service. It's a state broadcaster. Those in charge let this happen to the point to keep most in. Yes, to keep most in control. Yeah. Do you know? I mean, it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but the way the government in this country is working, it's almost like it's being used to cull the unproductive, people who are economically unproductive, the elderly, the disabled, the people who are ill. It's like everything that could be done to protect those people, the opposite is being done. People in care homes, they go to hospital, they get infected with coronavirus in hospital, they get put back into the care home. Yeah. And so everyone else in the care home gets infected, and you've got mass deaths. And they know that this is the wrong thing to do, but it's being done. And if that's not a cull, I don't know what is. Trust the Illuminati says, hi, trust the Illuminati. I don't trust the Illuminati at all. Yay, black cat, sadly the least loved cats at rescue centres. It's true, and black cats are great. This black cat he's a sweet thing. I've had a black cat who looked very, very, very similar to him, who was an absolute swine. I made a video of that cat. He died a few years ago of pancreatitis, and there's a video of him sort of recovering from that for a while on my other channel. There is no maths in Sudoku. Killer Sudoku has maths. I know nothing about that.
That's very true, actually. There is no maths in Sudoku.
I didn't.
Sudoku is just randomly putting from like 1 to like 9 in squares.
I've no idea. Never really played it.
Basically.
Trying to find where I was up to. Love your lampshade. That one or that one. There's one over there and one over there, and there's one. Oh yeah. Let's show you. There, yeah, you can't really see it with the light. There's a dragon lamp, which is really cool. Actually, let's look at that. How cool is that? That cat's something I can't explain. He's a cat. You can't explain cats. They're just cats. Can I come around and collect it? No. Need to go, Steve. I have to go work on the rover. Okay, Simone, I imagine you're gone now. I'm always late with the goodbyes on here. Thank you for joining us. Lucky Sixpence says, give the TV license to the NHS instead of all these diva celebrity stars. I completely agree. That's a really good idea. Anyone else disappointed there isn't a retro game running on the TV in the background? Tough. Yeah, that is hooked up to a PC, but there's no there are no games on it. There's a TV over there that it would be possible to have a retro game on, but then I'll have to sit on the floor, and I don't want to sit on the floor just for your entertainment. But it's comfortable here. Don't encourage them. Minsky says, Twitter is multiple echo chambers who've all blocked each other. That's true. Yeah, but I really do like Twitter. It's my social media of choice. After YouTube, obviously. Okay, someone with, I don't know if that's Chinese or Japanese or some other. There's an interesting number of Chinese viewers in here. I didn't know I had viewers in China, so I think it's really cool that I do. Whoever that is says, do you like hamburger? Yes, I do. I like hamburger. I like McDonald's. I do have to be careful because I really have trouble digesting onion, and they do tend to put onions in their burgers. So I have to not get carried away and not eat them very often. But yes, I do like hamburger. They made a Tetsuo 2 also. Yes, I also saw Tetsuo 2. I had both of the Tetsuo, the Iron Man films on VHS many years ago. Sadly, when I moved into my room, I dumped all of my VHS. They went into a skip, which is tragic. We just happened to have a skip on the drive at the time, and it was like, I've got nowhere to put these. I've got too many. They're not even taking them in the charity shops anymore. I couldn't take them with me. No time to sell them, so they went in a skip, and the Tetsuo films were among them. Do people just wander into YouTube streams? Yes. Yes, they do.
I'll try and stop you.
Don't be staged. Yeah, you're living your life, and that shouldn't halt just because there's a YouTube stream happening. Yeah. David Bowie was a legend. Yes, he was. We need a Starman to come and blow our minds. Yes, we do. David Icke legend or Fruit Loop. Absolute basket case. Bring back Jim Morrison and Ian Curtis too while you're at it. Yeah, though, to be fair, the world didn't go mad when they died. Tip, don't carry a phone and they can't track you. That is true. We're both. He says some interesting stuff, but others it is nuts. Okay, not sure who. Yeah. Old enough to remember getting through life without a mobile phone. It was glorious. I must admit, when I first got a mobile phone, I had a Motorola M301 flip phone, and I loved it for the novelty of it, to be able to ring people from anywhere. And then people started ringing me, and I'd started not liking it. And I would take my phone with me everywhere I went, but I would turn it off. So no one could ring me. I just used it if I needed to ring anyone, because in my mind, if I was out, I was out. That meant, don't disturb me, I'm out. But phones booted faster back then. And these days, it's kind of expected that you be reachable anywhere and everywhere. But thankfully, me being an unsociable git, not many people actually want to phone me anyway. I can't remember the last time anyone ever phoned me. Did you?
Yeah, on the car belt.
Right. We've been together 9 months. We've had one phone conversation. Texting. We text. Mostly, actually, we converse on Facebook when I'm at workshop and Joe's here. Yeah. You don't need a chip to track people. You're smart for, yeah. Conversations, what are those? Yeah, we have some of those. You've given me an idea to start seeding my own Toynbee idea. Titles on the streets with Resurrect Bowie on them. Yes, absolutely. Apparently, Animal Crossing on the Switch has been banned in China over Hong Kong democracy messages. Nate Higgers says, wait, no. Yeah, all of your messages are being blocked. That person, I see what that means. You can just get lost. Home is where the games collection is. Absolutely. CB radio was fun for cheaper than a BT landline. Yes, absolutely. If it was local, I mean, a range of my best. Generally, I got about 30 miles, but mostly it was like with CB. It was great. GCHQ is the most aggressive data gathering group, even more so than the NSA, according to Edward Snowden. They collect wholesale data on everyone and everything they can. Yeah, absolutely. I have heard that. I believe that to be true. Breaker, good buddy. 10-4, Roger Wilco over. No, they didn't actually say that. They did say 10-4. Roger Wilco, I think, not so much. Over and out. No, you didn't really say that. That's more kind of a police thing. Also, bonus retro geekiness. A mate and I used to send ZX Spectrum screens over the air on FM. Yes, I've heard of that. Cool. That'll be on. I God, what's it called? The Wayback Machine Archive, the Internet Archive.org. Yeah, they do that. You can play them on a Java applet. So gathering, I mean, yes, absolutely. Yes. GCHQ is also shaped like a giant bullseye to make it easy to target when the bombs drops. Yes, I'll be vaporized instantly. Are you near there, or are you? Is Mensky a spook? Are you? Is this your secret identity? Mm-hmm. Am I? What are they there? MI6, isn't it? Uh-huh. With Defo on a list now. Yeah. I'm a key worker in the UK. We have no PPE. Yes, this does not. Yeah. Jo is. She's a key worker and she also has very, very limited PPE. She's got a mask. She's allowed one mask per day. Gloves. Yeah, she's all right for gloves. Aprons.
Are a bit scarce.
Yeah, aprons are scarce. There's no like full gown or anything like that.
And I've got
one visor. Yeah, a washable visor. So yeah, she currently isn't having to care for anyone who is like confirmed with coronavirus, but it's like you just never know, do you? It's worrying. Faulty Cog, hello, greetings and welcome. Keep on bending sinister. Yes, I recognize that Fall reference there. It's actually my favorite Fall album. Barnsley's Retro Clan. Steve, what tips do you have to build up a YouTube channel? I think mine is dead now. Don't seem to be getting views or subs. Have you had similar experience? Yes. It's not as easy as it used to be. That's absolutely true. And my channel was stagnating for a long while, and it's only just starting to pick up. And do you know why? Because I'm uploading more videos, not quite daily, but it's like I'm trying to do like 2 videos, then have a day off, then 2 more videos, and then have a day off. Live streaming helps, but you kind of need an audience to make live streaming worth doing. So if you've not got a lot of viewers, I don't know if you can publicize it in other ways. When you're at the beginning starting a channel, the best thing you can possibly do is go to other people's channels who are doing things that you like and join the conversation, comment. But I don't mean like some people do, who really annoy the crap out of me. They say, yeah, great content, fantastic, come check out my channel. It's like, don't do that. Just, if you comment on what other people are doing, like have a conversation, show that you've watched what they've done and it's interesting to you and you've got something to say about it. Share ideas and opinions and things. And you do that in as many channels as you watch. Make your presence felt. Let these people know that you exist. And the people who are, and do that on channels that are of a similar size to your own. You could go into a humongous, great big channel and leave a comment and it'll be lost. It'll be swamped. No one will notice it. No one will care. But if you go into channels that are of a similar size to your own, get to know them, let them get to know you, do it on lots of channels. It's cross-pollination. You watch them, they'll watch you. It does work, and it's a long, slow process. I mean, I've been doing this since 2007, and I haven't hit 20,000 yet. I've been sitting around 19,500 for 2 years. But that is the way it's done. It's a long, hard slog, and it's harder than it used to be. But that would be my advice, if you want to call that advice. That's how I think it's done. Edinburgh Retro PC, hello, greetings and welcome. Did you see Piers Morgan rip apart Matt Hancock? I didn't, but I did read about it. And, you know, it says something about the state of this world, this country, the media in this country, when it takes Piers Morgan to hold the government to account, because he's the biggest arsehole in the media at the moment. But he's the only one who actually seems to be taking it seriously. Shocking. I never thought I would have any respect whatsoever for Piers Morgan, but he's the only one who's actually doing what he's meant to do. Shocking. Lost my place. Where was I? Okay. Story about GCHQ in Cheltenham. I parked up outside there with a couple of ham radio antennas on my car. Within 2 minutes, I had security over checking me and my equipment out. I have close friends and family who work for GCHQ over the years. When they apply, they have to tell them about everybody they're close to during the screening process. So I'll be on the books. Comfy chair. Yes, it is. Basically. Okay. Hey, loving your RG350 videos. Hi, Snowy. Thank you. I had fun making them. All happy once I realized it was a happy radio nerd, but still they're pretty tight around here. Lucky people are allowed opinions, so shouldn't hear GCHQ really. Opinion. Got an RG350 for my birthday, beginning of March, and haven't been able to put it down since. They're a really, for the money, I think they're brilliant. Tasha is in the room. Richard Heath says, hurrah, you're still going. I had to deal with stupid emails from stupid people. Christ, I hate office work. I totally sympathize. Chris Shaw says, hello, Joe.
Hi.
Joe says, hi. Another 861 hospital deaths reported on Sky News. Yeah, it's just not great. Nice. The internet is holding up this time. Yeah, I'm not at my place. The internet here is good.
It's not like
morning, back forward punch. Greetings and welcome. No, all that history thrown into a skip. Yeah, it's tragic. All those VHS tapes. I hated having to do that. I'm surprised you're getting Chinese viewers. I thought China had a lockdown on allowing citizens to access websites outside of their country. They're even banned VPNs, apparently. Maybe they're not in China at the moment and are just Chinese people, Chinese nationals in other countries. I don't know. But there are certainly some people who appear to be Chinese or have. Mark is back. Welcome back, Mark. Tetsuo 3. I've not seen that either. Can pick up both Tetsuo films on Blu-ray. My other half bought me it one Christmas. They're good films. As I remember, I don't know how they stand up today. Yeah. Stephen Brown. Hi, Steve. Glad to see you are well. Hello, Steve. Greetings and welcome to you, and I hope you're well. Simply Austin is in the house. First time I got a text I phoned Vodafone to ask them how my phone knows my name. Yeah. Nice. Well, they have had a good view of Rhino's bum.
Yeah. Good job,
Yeah.
Good job.
Does appear to be 10 minutes behind. Yeah, well, it's not that the stream is 10 minutes behind, it's that I'm 10 minutes behind because I'm at least reading all the comments and trying to reply to most of them. So yeah, there is a large delay. What do you recommend for getting rid of the sticky residue you get on power brick cables when they're stored in polystyrene cables for decades? I don't have a recommendation. I do know exactly what you mean. I have that on various different cables and
My name is Steve.
I didn't, but cool. Wow. I've just been informed there's a game called My Name is Steve. That's great.
Challenging platform game with 8x8 pixel graphics.
Scrolling. I think of where are we at? Hi, Stephen. Hi, everyone. Hi, Gary W. You can listen to ham radio transmissions using the free app Scanner Radio. The airwaves have never been so busy since the lockdown kicked in. I can believe that. I should check that out. Solar Cycle is starting to pick up again, so HF is getting more interesting. Yeah, the skip will be running. I'm familiar with skip from my YouTube days, CB days. YouTube success is purely the mercy of the algorithm. Yes, largely, but not entirely. Interaction is a factor. Personality is a factor. Some people just have a knack of making stuff that people want to watch. There's a bunch of comment bots doing the rounds now, doing generic, great content, sub to me. Yes, I have seen those. They annoy the crap out of me. Get that EC10 set up, string some wire up somewhere and get your ears on. It's amazing. God, how do I pronounce that? Soporific, yeah, thing. Relaxing. Listening to the various whine squeaks and stuff on HF. Do you know, there was a sound I used to pick up on my, I think it was on my scanner. I had an FM scanner. And it was just I thought it was digital data being transmitted. And it turns out it's not. It is the northern and southern lights, aurora from Jupiter. Because I was watching, what the hell was I watching? Some astronomy program or the planets or something or other recently. And they played that exact noise and said, you can pick this up on your radio. You can actually pick it up like on a normal domestic radio. And it was Jupiter I was listening to, which just blew my mind. John Marston, referring, I think, to Piers Morgan. He likes to milk any kind of attention and pretend he's a journalist. Tell that to people he's screwed over to get their pointless little scrote. Yes, I get that. Under the circumstances, though, he is the only person who is giving the politicians a hard time when they really need to be given a hard time. So that he's doing that, I'm pleased. That it's him doing it seems highly inappropriate, but as long as he's doing it, I welcome it. Are you going to see the new Ghostbusters film when it comes out? That's exactly what I thought. No idea. Don't know anything about it. So In regards to the RG350, I totally agree with your comment on a video about having more fun playing around with getting games working, etc., than actually playing the games. Yes, it is. It's a challenge. Just get the emulators working. Make it do as many things as you possibly can. And when you're done fiddling with it, it's like play the games maybe later. Peterson Fontura says, hello from Brazil. I think you're the first person I've seen say hi from Brazil in here. Greetings from England. Yeah, we get them from all over. Sounds like the cat wants some screen time. The cat has been on the screen. Viewers have been treated to a view of the cat's bum.
No, I think it was probably Millie that might be going to Brown's.
I don't know.
Probably.
Oh, right. Millie. Right, yes. There are 3 cats here and they can be very vocal. Captain Tom Moore needs a knighthood. Absolutely.
Oh, cool. We're just looking at the Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's the original cast.
Oh. Okay. Well.
Yeah, it's Bill Murray, Ben Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and Sigourney Weaver reprise their roles from the original film, set 30 years after.
That's cool. I don't know if you could hear that. Joe's just been reading about the new Ghostbusters film. So it's like the original cast reprising their roles 30 years later. That sounds good. Meow.
This is a direct sequel to Ghostbusters 2.
Cool. I've used label remover and a rag on sticky keyboards before now. Works a treat. That's good to know. I should try that. Saw the same generic great content poster on 3 YouTube channels the other day, one of which is completely unrelated to the other 2. Yeah, there are a lot. The ones I kept seeing were when I went to see what the actual channels were. They were music and some kind of generic music production company thing. I was like, I don't give a crap. Andrew Neil is usually the best at grilling politicians in a balanced way. No, he's not. He's a Tory. He's in no way balanced. You just don't. None of them are balanced in the mainstream at all. Andrew Neil is absolutely a Tory. BBC should go subscription, to be fair. I honestly don't know what the solution is to dealing with the BBC. No idea. Josephine Lithius. Oh, dang, I'm actually here for once. Yay me. Also, hi, Steve. Hi, chat. Greetings, Joe Lee. Welcome. Scott Moore says, good luck in lockdown. Thank you, Scott. Gonna need it. It's
We're not that bad.
No, you're not. You're not bad. Being here is so vastly preferable to lockdown where I was. My God, that was just I was going mental there.
It's alright, you've got constant love by cats.
Well, I know that they tolerate me. Millie in particular. It's like, yeah. Atsuma Korean, Ben, greetings. Nice to see you again. It has been a while. Hope you're doing well in these strange times we're living in. I'm all right, yeah. Hot, I'm saying. I've got the sun on me. Yes, these are very strange times. I hope you're well.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
I think the one I saw was about how to gain YouTube views and subscriptions. Yeah, they will send. There are some good channels on how to be successful on YouTube, but a lot of them are pretty jargony. Do you own a CRT TV? Sadly, no, I don't. I used to have 2, but they got left behind when I moved because I didn't have the space for them. That BBC War of the Worlds remake was awful. I didn't watch that, but Joe did. We're watching the one that's on. Is it on Netflix or is it on Fox? I can't remember what it's on. Fox. We're watching the one on Fox. I didn't see the BBC one. Not a fan of the BBC. If they went subscription, I would not pay for it. I tell you what, neither would I. I am paying for a TV license, and I question whether I should cancel it because I don't watch live broadcast TV. I watch stuff on iPlayer once in a blue moon, and it's like, is it worth that much money? Not really, I don't think. I should like delete the iPlayer and unplug the aerial cable that I don't use anyway and be done with it. Can't help but think your voice sounds like Dennis Norden from the It'll Be All Right on the Night programs. Lol. Do you know what? It's so long since I watched that, I can't remember what he sounded like. So I don't know if that's an accurate representation or not. Quite aware of using WD-40 around electrical bits. That stuff belongs on squeaky hinges and rusty garden shears and nowhere else. I'm inclined to agree. I'm not one for. It's all right for getting water out of electrical stuff, but I would want the electrics to be turned off at the time. Gadget UK 164. Greetings, welcome. Nice to see you here. I don't pay. Last TV license was 2011. Well, yeah, I can't blame you. It's not good value for money. I mean, they say all the services you get from the BBC, all the radio channels, the TV programs, the iPlayer, and many, many other things. But who actually takes advantage of all of those things on an individual level? It's not good value. Have you tried convincing them you don't require a license? It's almost like that can't quite comprehend you're not glued to the old cathode teat 24/7. I know there is a thing where you fill it out to say you're exempt. And I have heard people say they still get warning letters and stuff, but well, let them come visit me if they like. I am still paying a license, but I think I may not at some point. Clay Graphics says, hey Steve, just swinging by to say hello, hope you're well. I'll be listening, but dealing with our newborn. Congratulations to you. And thank you for dropping by. Ben says, I don't watch TV anymore. I just use my TV for gaming. That's the best use for a TV I can think of. Snowy says, keep up the great work, Steve. Loving your videos and streams. Thank you. Hi, Steve. Love your channel. Thoughts on real hardware versus emulation for games? Not sure if that's a question or a statement. They still, what? They still, yeah, she jumped down here a couple of times. Because the BBC is a massive sacred cow. They're so used to sucking from the UK taxpayer, they're becoming fearful we will soon stop funding their racket. Yeah, it's about right. Steve, have you tinkered with a Mr. device? I think you would love one of those, right up your street for obscure and popular consoles and computers. I've never actually heard of one of those. I don't know what that is. That's all that the YTV license is. It's a protection racket. Yep, pretty much. Yep. Okay, I'm going to call it a day at this point because I'm currently frying and I'm losing my voice a little bit. And while I'm gabbing away on here, I'm aware of being quite obtrusive in here and it's probably quite restrictive. You two are holding a conversation and I know you're having to talk quietly because I'm gabbing away and whatnot. I'm aware of it. Well, anyway, I'm still frying, so I'm going to call it a day. Yeah. No, I'm gonna. Many of your personal data either? No, definitely not. Okay, I'm gonna call it a day. I'm going to do this again. Not today, but on an yes, because we have bandwidth and it works and it's fun. So thank you to everyone for joining. It's been great. Currently 66 viewers. That just never happened at mine. So take care, everyone. Respect lockdown, social distancing, and all of that. Look after yourselves and stay safe.